First impressions on a classic fragrance from the house of Guerlain. Let's talk about it. Hey Frag fams, welcome to another video from Proverbs 27:9 Fragrances. John here, and today we are going to be finally smelling for the first time one of the most revered men's fragrances of all times from one of the most revered houses of all times, Rouge from Guerlain. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, I say thank you so much for coming back and being a part of our fragrance community. And make sure you got the notifications on. That way you're notified every time we upload that sweet smelling fragrance content. All right, I'm so excited. This is one that I've been wanting to buy for a long time. And I have had it in the cart multiple times. I had kind of decided I was going to wait and pick it up in the new bottle, which looks like this. Because I really love the square Guerlain bottles. They look like jewel cases, little diamond ring cases or things. When my dad was a door-to-door perfume salesman, he also sold jewelry, and he sold, it was like costume jewelry, fake, cubic zirconias and stuff like that, but kept all his rings in these little crystal cases that kind of look like these bottles. But I finally come across a good deal on some old, how do you say it? Some new old stock or old new stock. But I don't know which bottle it's going to be, if it's going to be the regular Listerine bottle or the precursor. I'm hoping it's the precursor because that's the older one, but if it is just the regular, Listerine bottle, that's fine too. But I found a good deal on it, and I finally pulled the trigger. All right. So without any further ado, and let me just say, I hope that I love this fragrance from first sniff. But if I don't, I'm pretty sure I will learn to love it. One of my favorite all-time fragrances is Heritage by Guerlain, which is a classic, spicy, woody, kind of boozy, tobacco-y, like if you took Dolce & Gabbana the One or Bentley for Men Intense and you just added a bunch of good stuff to them, okay? Because those are, to me, really bland. Heritage is like that, but it's just so much more. But I didn't like it the first time I smelled it. I thought it was way too mature for me and had too many florals in it. From what I know about this fragrance, it's a citrus, heavy, floral, woody, musky fragrance, okay? This won't be the full review. This is my honest to goodness first impression. I'm so excited. The box is beautiful. You can see the kind of ridged pattern here. You've got the Guerlain crest there. Not the B, it's the G. Rouge, Eau de Toilette. You've got some house information there. Nothing on the sides. You've got the Guerlain crest on the top. Barcode, batch code, which this one is 1X01. So when I do the full review, I'll know when this was made. Typical cardboard box, Oh, yes. So this is the precursor to the Listerine bottles. It's the Listerine bottle basically with the silver cap. So this is older than, for instance, this bottle with, oh, I didn't see it. With this bottle, it's got the wooden or the plastic caps. So this is good. This is going to be more vintage than had the wooden cap. I'm almost too excited to even spray it. You've got the Guerlain, again, G crest on the top. And again, I don't care if I'm not going to love it at first sniff, but I hope I do. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to let before I really start talking about the way it smells, I need to let the alcohol dissipate a little bit. The way this is a 1965 fragrance, and this is the one that's famous for, you know, being Keith Richards' signature scent, and, you know, I believe Sean Connery, this was his scent before he started wearing, like, I think he's famous for wearing Creed's Green Irish Tweed now. I may have that wrong, but I'm pretty sure this was one of his signature scents. Okay, so it's described as an amber woody fragrance, and I knew that it had a lot of lemon, florals, and powder. And so at first smell, you know, once it kind of dries down a little bit and lets that alcohol blast get out of the way, because this is a projector. It's made to be a very, you know, back in the 60s, 70s, even the 80s, fragrances were just a lot stronger. They were made to be powerhouses. And this is one of them. It is loud. But immediately, lemon, you get a lot of citruses. There's some dry wood in the top. Almost smells like rosewood. You get a lot of powder. And there's a little animalic touch to it. Sort of similar to like what you get from Aramis. I think Boucheron Pour Homme was probably based on Habit Rouge. Because again, very powdery, very florally, citrusy. I didn't like Boucheron Pour Homme. I'm going to say at first sniff, it is what I expected, but maybe a little more dated. And I shouldn't have expected it not to be dated, honestly. I wonder if the new one in the jewel bottle smells like this one. Now, again, this is the more vintage version. If I was guessing, I'm going to say this is probably a bottle from, maybe 2010. So this bottle is probably 12 years old or older. Maybe I can in post pop up the date. Again, it's 1X01. So it smells almost exactly the way I thought it would smell, but not the way I hoped it would smell, if that makes sense to you. So again, a lot of citrus, a lot of florals, some dry woods, maybe cedar in there somewhere. Again, you're getting and as it dries down, it's getting better too, by the way. Getting more masculine, more modern as it dries down. The powder's starting to kind of, it's still there, but the other notes are starting to come out. The woods are definitely coming out. It's not overly floral, I'm assuming there's probably 6 or 8 flowers in it. If I was guessing, again, just based on the type of flowers that were used during this time, I'm going to say there's probably geranium and carnation and jasmine and maybe lily of the valley. There's rose, definitely. I remember that being specific to this fragrance, that it's a rose fragrance. The rose is not standing out. It's not overly rosy. I can smell it though. A lot of lemon. And the lemon here, it's just kind of a dry lemon, if that makes any sense. More the rind than like a sweet, juicy lemon. Definitely some oak moss, getting some green, earthy vibes coming through, and that's probably the animalic touch. Oak moss, to my nose, comes across a little animalic. What about y'all? Some of you, the guys that like the classic fragrances, does oak moss come across that way? Because a lot of times I'll look at the notes to see if there's castoreum or if there's, civet, and it won't. It'll just be kind of like oak moss, and and not even any ambergris or anything. I'm like, well, it's got to be that kind of dank oak moss that gives it that little bit of an aromatic feel. There's something else coming through, kind of resinous. So it's got a little bit of a resinous, maybe frankincense-y kind of, or some type of amber that's really rounding it out, kind of as it's drying further and further down, kind of giving it a kind of softening up those citruses and the dry woods, filling in the base a little bit. Again, I don't know. I didn't want to look at all the notes and have them in front of me. It seems like there may be some vanilla here. It's almost coming across like a woody floral oriental. It's very interesting. Unless it super changes, or unless my taste super changes, it's probably going to be hard for me to put it in the rotation and wear it. But I will not sell this fragrance. I know I'm going to like it more and appreciate it more next year than I do this year. I did that with Heritage again. I put Heritage in I had a sample of it. I put it in my drawer, my desk drawer, and one day I had bought Bottega Veneta Parfum, smelled it, liked it, and thought, that reminds me of that Guerlain Heritage fragrance. Pulled it out, smelled it, loved it. So I'm sure, I don't know if I will love this fragrance as much as I love Heritage, but it is the classic fragrance, men's fragrance from the house of Guerlain. It was their, men's version of Shalimar, basically. And so it's definitely one that, as long as I keep a fragrance collection, I will keep this fragrance. And I'm excited to see how it dries down. I'll come and do a full review of this here in the future. Let me know what you think about the House of Guerlain, but specifically Habit Rouge and similar fragrances, So leave me a comment, let me know. Till we see you down the road, we say God bless. Frag on, Frag fam.